Hey, did you guys know that the CEO of IKEA has been elected the Prime Minister of Sweden?
It's a terrific decision.
It is. He's currently assembling his cabinet.
Hey!
Oh, redeemed himself from last week.
Yeah.
Hello, listeners. That class is in session, and now the class has got 3 class holes in it instead of 2. Maybe that's just for today. Maybe not. Who knows? But these other 2 class holes that have joined me today are Ruaridh Kidd and Eddie Ashcroft. How are you guys?
Oh, you wrote that down.
Player gone change the script.
Duncan changed the intro. I just want to say that Eddie has successfully completed his
Probationary period?
probationary period and got 1 email for him to return.
Sweet.
Guess who the email was from?
Eddie.
Was it by any chance from Addy Ashcroft?
No, it was from a long-time YouTube listener of the pod.
Oh,
Hi, Gemma.
I quit.
Oh,
Quitting.
yes. Please
I'm
go on.
off.
Can you read that to us?
Yes,
Can you
I will
read it
read
like
the
a
email
bedtime
to you.
story?
Excuse
Please,
me.
Rory.
Let me just get my
A
email.
A brand
right.
new segment. Emails from the listeners.
Emails from the listeners, yes.
This will be the only time it ever appears.
So we have an email from listener Gemma Parnell. Gemma writes.
Oh, never mind.
No,
Is there a cringy hotmail?
You can also write to
Hotmail.
us at that'sclasspod@gmail.com
Yeah.
or Twitter or Instagram. But Gemma writes in and says, 1 vote for Eddie's return, but with the request of one of his cats being present for a minimum of 2 minutes.
I can't provide any promises on the cats.
Yeah, that's going to go down really well with the audio listeners.
P.S. P.S. Yeah, I know, Gemma. Audio listeners, think about
Look
them.
at that. She's even
It's a
summoning the
podcast,
cat.
Gemma.
She's
The
even summoning the
podcast.
cat.
So that's
oh shit,
our...
they're here. They came.
Gemma, they came. Look at the screen.
What is that black magic?
Nice.
I must come.
Thus concludes the email section of the listeners.
Fantastic. Well, that was fun. How's it going, guys? How's everyone's week been?
Good. Eddie?
Pretty good. Yeah, had a day off today. Played 18 holes
Oh.
at crap golf.
Nice.
And
Nice.
yeah, just been working, grafting.
Grafting hard so you can spend Friday playing golf.
So I can spend my Friday playing golf. Exactly.
Nice.
Nice.
It's always the case
surfing?
when you take a special day off to play golf that you play absolute crap. There you go.
How's
Surfing's
Imagine
good.
it's the
life?
same with surfing.
Yeah, surfing's good. I woke up for a Dawny this morning, so I was in the
A
water by
what?
6. A Dawny, so dawn patrol.
Oh,
You
right,
wake
okay.
up
Who's
up
she?
before. Don't tell Lucy.
All right.
Audio listeners, I looked back at my door. Physical comedy. We need audio comedy. I got up just before sunrise this morning. I went in the sea and had a surf. And then I had a couple lessons to teach. So I taught some lessons and then came home and had a good old nap because I was a tired old boy. Fun times though.
Aw, big day. Big
Fun
day.
times. Do you remember?
Big day, Rory.
Tuck it out.
Yeah, a little tuckered out boy. I need my nap, you know? I needed to be
Cutie.
ripe and ready for the pod, you know? I'm just so
Bless.
ready to
Aw.
podcast right now.
Hun, DM me.
Oh, babe.
But yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to pod. I don't have a drink, unfortunately. I've just got water. But, you know, that could change.
You haven't come fully prepared.
Oh, look at that.
What
Is
is
that
your
a Glen-
life?
Is
That is
that,
your life. Yeah.
is that a Lagavulin or something?
Yeah, it's a half a bottle of Glenlivet.
Glenlivet.
It's a really nice one, actually. It's an American oak selection.
Half a bottle. It was started on Tuesday.
Last Thursday.
Last Thursday.
Been a tough week.
Yeah, it's been a great week. That's why.
Duncan,
Oh,
do you want to do the
fucking-
housekeeping or shall I?
Oh, we can do some housekeeping. pretty much. But I boil the house. Unlike my boiling down of the housekeeping is just you can pretty much catch That's Class on anywhere you can get a podcast. Really, thanks to Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and obviously YouTube on a Wednesday. You can catch it in audio format every single Monday morning. Once Rory edits and uploads it. Work faster, Rory.
Thank God for work-based Wi-Fi.
Workplace Wi-Fi. And then obviously if you prefer to watch podcasts, you can see it on Wednesday. Put faces to names, regret it, stuff like that. Let's just get straight onto the news.
Let's, because I've actually taken a sidebar on this whole week. I've been completely, like, pod has not been on the mind, which is a shame. So you guys have really gone at it for the news, which is great. It is unforgivable, and I apologize. But I'm excited that new addition to the pod has participated with the news, and I'm keen to see how this goes.
Someone's got to raise the level.
Yeah. Bold claims.
Actually, first on the news.
No, take it back. Take it back.
First on the news, you've put down the new lightsaber that Disney have brought out, which actually I did comment on because it looks class.
I don't know how it
Duncan
works.
was talking about it.
Anyone's seen the video? I've sent it to a few people. Disney Imagineers, who I guess must just have one of the coolest jobs in the world.
Yes.
Apart from like building creating the Lego sets that become like the cool Lego sets. I imagine that's up there with that. They have made a lightsaber that it not only lights up but also extends out. So you don't have to live with the whole shitty plastic ones like I have on my shelf.
But the one that I have, which is continuously pulled out.
Yeah, it's just one solid piece.
And the light comes up.
Disney have said they're not for sale, but as we all know, this is Disney we're talking about, so they will be for sale. I'm just
add in on this. I believe what they're doing is in Florida, in Disney World, they have a part of the Star Wars universe area of Magic
Galaxy's
Kingdom, wherever
Edge.
they are.
Galaxy's Edge.
You get the opportunity to design and make your own lightsaber, and that's what they're replacing it with. So you can't buy them off the shelf, but you have to buy into the whole experience of making your own lightsaber.
From what I understand, and this is just from what I've read, is that you can make your own lightsaber at this little workshop, whose name escapes me, but it's at Galaxy's Edge, and you can currently do that, and it looks super awesome, and you get a custom lightsaber.
It looks amazing.
You want. It looks amazing. It looks well fun. I'd totally do that. The retractable lightsabers seem to be built for this themed hotel that they're making.
Amazing.
Which is like the Galactic Star Cruiser. It's kind of like built kind of like a Republic ship or a Resistance ship, and you stay on it, and it's basically whilst you're staying there, it gets boarded by stormtroopers. And then the Resistance arrive and fight back the stormtroopers. You could literally open your door, and there could just be a fight going on in the hallway.
Depending on the person, that could be the worst experience of a hotel ever. If you had if your partner was super into Star Wars and you didn't know anything about Star Wars, and like midnight you needed some snacks.
I think you could go even darker with it. Imagine you're just getting down, just having a nice chill time with someone, getting down, and the force be with you.
PG-15.
And next thing you know, the door crashes down. It's fucking Darth Maul having a fight with somebody. And
with the double edge.
Really funny. Every single one of us would be like, "Fuck yeah, this is awesome."
Double penetration.
Watch this. But yes, so they made this retractable lightsaber that lights up, and it's kind of built from looking around. It seems to be built kind of on the principle of like a tape measure, not to spoil Disney magic. But if you imagine, a tape measure, it's flat.
You've now ruined it for me.
I know. Well, I'm just telling you how it works. So like,
I don't want to know how it works. I want to be amazed by the magic.
You shouldn't be amazed by it. Well, okay.
Do you think it's like a tape measure? If you extended it too far, it just flops?
Well, that's the funny thing. Someone made that point. They're like, what happens if it goes too far? Well, it's just, if you do combat with it, will it just break? Just flop over like something out of a Galaxy
Trying to go
balls.
for maximum distance on the tape measure.
Galaxy balls, not Galaxy balls, Spaceballs.
That's so good. I hope not.
Spaceballs, not. I was thinking Galaxy Quest, but it's Spaceballs. Was the parody. But yeah, it looks sick, doesn't it? I hope they manage to. I hope Disney are like, we won't sell them. They're just props. They're just for use in this like hotel fight scenes. And it's kind of like, Disney, you're literally sitting on that's a gold mine. So not this iteration probably won't be for sale, but you can guarantee they're going to refine it down, and then we'll all
I
be
think
able
they
to
know.
buy it.
They know that they can.
Oh, they know. They must know.
They know.
They must know.
I mean, they've
I
bought
would
almost
be
everyone.
ashamed for them if they didn't. Yeah.
Unforgivable.
Nice.
There's a poor wee Hasbro guy. There's a Hasbro guy camped outside the CEO of Disney's office right now, just waiting.
Trying to steal
He's
the
already
blueprint.
pitched his tent.
Keeping on the subject of space, who wants to go on to the next news?
SpaceX landed a Starship.
Did you see the
SpaceX
video?
did a
Spontaneously combust.
Thunderbird 1.
Yeah, it's effectively
it's
like
cool
a
as
Thunderbird.
fuck.
But the way it looks is it kind of looks like Thunderbird 2, but it acts like Thunderbird 1.
That's
But
very
it
true.
takes off
It's a very
vertically,
British reference. It's so true.
That's-
though.
I think Thunderbirds was American.
Was it American?
I think
I just
so.
remember being really big over here.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So what's quite cool though is all the last ones blew up on the landing pad. Well, not
Class.
all the last ones, but the last couple
The
of
last
just
one
like set
definitely did. The
Well,
last one
the
came
la-
in way
the
too
last
hot.
one landed. It landed totally fine, and then it just caught fire, and then it was like 5 minutes later, it just blew up. Whereas so
Classic
this one
Elon.
landed, it caught fire, but they managed to put the fire out. So now theoretically, they can use this one again.
That's
I
pretty cool.
I mean, we're getting closer to going to Mars. Not
I mean,
that-
it's
I
pretty
don't
cool.
think I'd want to go, but I don't know. But
I don't.
Ah,
I
man,
don't know
that's
if I
cool.
want to be the first person to go. I think I'll let
Definitely
Elon
not.
take that seat. But
Did that
it's
rover
fun.
ever make it to Mars?
yeah, the rover made it.
Yeah,
rover with the
that
helicopter
launched a while
Yeah.
ago, didn't it?
Yeah, it made it.
Yeah, yeah.
The helicopter
That's-
flew the other day.
yeah,
They
the
actually had a
helicopter's
controlled
been
flight.
flying on Mars now.
That's
Yeah.
wicked.
Mars is the only planet that we know of in the entire galaxy, or our solar system even, that is populated entirely by robots.
So, well, we don't know. There could be like
Well,
sand
as we know,
people
yeah,
living
like,
under
as-
the under
as
the
we know.
surface.
Partly-
Send Anakin.
Sand people.
That would
He'll take care
how
of not
great-
just the men, but the women and children
See-
too.
see if the rover caught like a Martian going. "Rrr," George Lucas would go, "Fucking told you."
I told you.
Fucking told you.
They go
could-
and
fucking
collect the
told you.
rover, and it's just like someone's been taking pot shots at this with like a BB gun. What's going on? Ah.
That's amazing. That's
I
cool.
thought that's
I'm
pretty
excited.
cool,
I
like-
like space. Space is
The
very good.
SpaceX stuff really gets me excited because like when it's happening, you've got like NASA are like doing films of it. SpaceX are doing because they recently sent another Dragon crew module up to the space
The
station.
space station,
and
yeah,
brought the people back down again. I mean,
that's pretty sick.
it's nuts and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's pretty
I do like-
exciting. how
I
it's all-
remember when they
ramping up.
landed, a couple of years ago, how big a deal it was when they landed the 2 rocket boosters for the first time, and the fucking
Yeah.
the fucking legs fold out from the side, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh, that's cool. And then they
Damn.
landed, and you're like, damn. And then they blew up the module, and it had the Tesla with the spaceman on it, and on the
Yeah.
screen it had "Don't panic," and you're like, god damn, Elon is just every single space fan, just like, I'm
Yeah.
going this way.
Yeah. He's
Fuck,
very
the
fuck
other
the
co- the other
government.
co-
We'll just do it
the other cool
ourselves.
thing about landing the boosters is when they land them on a flipping boat in the middle of the Atlantic.
Yeah, that's pretty
Like,
baller.
Christ, and then it's now got to the point now where like the ones that they come and land back at like wherever they land, it's not in
Florida?
Mexico, is it? It's that in Florida, yeah.
Florida,
The
it's
ones
down
that actually come
Pensacola,
and land on the
yeah.
coast of Florida.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost now. It's amazing how quick it's gone from the point of being like, oh, will it land? Will it land? To just being like, all right, that's them landed. Cool. Right, next.
Yeah.
Carry
Next.
on. Like, just forget about it. They're in. Don't even worry about it.
I
They're in.
remember my
We're
dad's
off.
watching that. My dad watched that, and obviously he watched the
moon landing.
He was well, the moon landings were the moon landings were what,
69.
69. Yeah, so he would have
A
been
great
13.
year.
He would have been 13 when
Brian Adams knows it.
There
he
you
would have
go.
been 13 when the moon landings happened. So he remembers the moon landings, but
Yeah.
then remembering the moon landings and then seeing a rocket land its goddamn self, and you're like,
Yeah.
damn. And obviously
think-
growing up with things like Thunderbirds, you're like, fucking hell.
When you
Yeah.
when you see the reaction of our parents who've witnessed space, like the whole space race was the 60s, and my dad talks about it all the time, and to see their reaction of of a rocket ship land
brilliant.
itself
It's so good.
is better than us,
So
because I
good.
feel like we've been spoiled by almost all of these sci-fi movies and like
Yeah.
technology, and we're like, oh sweet, the spaceship landed itself. That's great.
We also
But, like,
are not surprised. We also have less surprise because we're kind of, Elon landed a spaceship, no doubt. Like,
Yeah.
of course he's gonna land a spaceship. But they're like, fuck.
yeah. But like, if you talk to your dads about it, and then they'll probably be like, oh my god, this is incredible, a spaceship landed itself. And we're like, right on, we've got more computer power in our iPods now.
I mean, what's also kind of cool is I was looking at like one of the comparisons of like the size and the payloads of the different rockets that have gone that NASA have used. I think NASA, maybe the Russians as well. But then it's the fact that now they're using a rocket. They were using rockets before going up, but obviously then they were just like, right, see that rocket later. Now, and then they were thinking like, well, next has got to be like a plane, but for space, which the shuttle. I suppose the Starship is the new shuttle.
Well, that's
Like,
kind of
the
what
shuttle
that's-
kind of looked more like a plane. I think the shuttle looked kind of cooler, but
The
Starship
shuttle
like,
was
pretty.
the shuttle definitely flew. Well, the shuttle kind of looked like a plane, but landed like a brick. Because that was part of its problem, was it came in way too hot.
Yeah.
Like, it was aerodynamic, but it wasn't like, it kind of came in. It still came in kind
Came in
of
like
giving kind of flat. Yeah.
yeah.
Whereas what you want is something that looks like the fucking Concorde. Like, they can
Yes.
cut about.
Oh, imagine the Concorde. God.
Concorde as a space, just redesign. Yeah, Concorde as a spaceship.
I feel like there's a pod in the future for just like class planes.
Class planes.
we just sit and just go like,
if you were,
fuck, that was
right,
cool.
so let's say, obviously, Elon Musk names all his things like Dragon, and the engines are called Raptor engines, right? So you're on this first spaceship's going to Mars. What do you call it?
Nighthawk.
Nighthawk. This is
Dragon
Nighthawk
Raptor.
1. He calls things like it's the Dragon capsule, and then there's the Raptor engines. It's like, what do you call the first
girl.
spaceship to Mars? Grimes.
You could call it the clever girl.
Clever girl. That would be good, especially if it could land itself.
That's a really good question. Damn.
We're getting very close
Got
to
me
just
thinking.
becoming the movie WALL-E, aren't we? We're just going to leave this planet and live on a spaceship.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
until the planet's okay again.
Yeah.
As long as we name the spaceship, we're fine. So what you call a spaceship? What you call it? Like, that's a good
Are they not
question.
just called starships now? It's just going to be a
Here's
starship.
an idea.
that goes-
Here's an idea of what we could call them. Should we call it either Arsenal or Man United?
Well,
let's
as
laugh
long-
at both of them.
well,
let's
Arsenal-
commit 2 minutes to just
Arsenal's
laughing.
Arsenal's clearly like one of those early early SpaceX prototypes that went up reasonably high and then crashed horribly.
Now, I might just be completely away with the news right now. Why are we laughing at these two? What's happened?
Well,
So,
Arsenal crashed out of the Europa League,
Yeah.
Yeah, miserably.
and
then
Aubameyang has to do better. He has to do better for the money he's on. And then
Yeah.
United went through to the final, so I'm not quite sure why we're laughing. I guess because they're in
Well,
the Europa League and fuck
Is
them.
it just because it's Man United?
well,
I
yes.
think so.
I mean, you don't need much of a reason to laugh at Manchester United.
I feel like
But
you might be a fan of another club, Eddie. Is there
yeah,
a
definitely.
fan
Of
of a club
course.
that the listeners might want to know?
But I mean, we've got to laugh at them for the fact of the sense of entitlement that they're postponing Premier League fixtures just to go and like protest their multi-billion-dollar owners.
Oh, is that why they've
And,
got 3 games this weekend?
Yeah,
Yes.
because they're having to
son of a
replay a game from
bitch.
last weekend that never got played.
Guessing.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of like that's ruined my fantasy a little
It
bit.
fucked
No one's ever
Because
had
I did a
fantasy
bit-
as
I'd
well.
already made my changes, so I was going to have a wee dabble, but then I was like, nah, stick to it.
I assume
stick
they've
to it.
already played. I assume that deadline's passed when we're filming this podcast.
I
Oh,
think
yes.
it has,
Yeah, it was
'cause there's an 8
half past
o'clock
six.
kickoff tonight.
Ages ago. 6.
it was-
It'll be 7 o'clock. Yeah.
It was a 6:30 deadline.
That's
and
fine. Fernandez should put Fernandez as captain, but fuck it.
I did. I've captained
Might
Fernandez.
still get 6 points. So
I
Man,
had 2
Eddie
transfers
returns,
to make.
episode 11, and we're actually bringing fantasy back into it. This is quite good. We've not talked about
Asti's just like, you
fantasy
fucking
since
idiots
episode
have been
1.
running this show.
Well-
You promise things you don't deliver.
I think
You fucking
I
go
think
off on
for like
tangents.
for this season of the fantasy, it's kind of run its course. Like who's winning? No one really cares. No one really cares about the league anymore. So I mean, I say just like keep in touch with it, but maybe start fresh in the new season with a sort of a push
Yeah.
at it because then it might be more exciting.
They should have the
Whereas right
equivalent. They should have the equivalent to an F1 losing 5 places if you've cheated or tried to do something. You know?
I mean, it's not
yeah.
like they tried to break away and make their own league or anything.
Exactly.
And then the punishments were just announced today, and they're absolutely pathetic.
What are they?
That's another thing.
There's some news.
They are. Oh, I only briefly read it on Twitter.
Ed Woodward has to go in some stocks and get tomatoes thrown at him.
He's leaving anyway at the end of the season.
The Glazers actually have to make windows.
Does someone have to walk? Does someone have to walk through Liverpool naked with everyone shouting shame?
Jurgen Klopp,
the equivalent of.
Take this little shacking. Take this little shacking, Jurgen.
Just have Jamie Carragher spitting at everyone.
ruining such a special club, and you've ruined it.
We got Andy Gray commentating as well.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Man.
That's funny.
Basically, they're just getting some pathetic wee fines. That's it, really.
Oh,
We all wanted them banned from Europe and massive points deductions, but that's not happening.
Let's never forget that Manchester City have also spent in this past week as well. Manchester City have finally made good on their £1 billion spending spree and made the Champions League, even though that they got a 2-year ban from it only a year ago, and also were all for dumping it not only 2 weeks ago, but they're in the final. So
Sweet money.
come on, Chelsea.
Here's a question for you both. Who would you rather win, Chelsea or Manchester City?
Man City, because I couldn't deal with Pidge.
I hate Chelsea.
I hate Chelsea more than I hate Tottenham.
Yeah. Established wankers versus wankers in Eddie's view.
Yeah. Established pricks versus some young up and comers with a heap of money.
Speaking of pricks and the cesspool that is Twitter, what's this tipping function that I'm reading here? Go and explain.
Heard about this on the radio. Did a brief read on it.
Who listens to the radio? It's all about
listen to the radio.
I listen to the radio at work.
When I'm driving and I run out of podcasts for the week, I just flip the radio on.
Yeah, me too.
Because I can never be arsed trying to find something on Spotify while I'm driving, which is it's also not particularly safe.
Yeah. Drive safe, people.
I'm not using my phone. It pops up on the screen.
So what is this Twitter tip?
So they're making it so that special Twitter creators or content people. So there'll be some content people on Twitter, but I think it's going to be. It kind of seems like it's going to be if you've got a blue tick, people will be able to give you a tip for like your tweeting. Now I can see it makes sense because included in this is like journalists, and what I primarily use Twitter for is to keep up to date with football.
Yeah.
So I follow a lot of like blue tick journalists that relate specifically to Leeds United and greatest football team in the world. Now I can see this being good because you can tip them, and it's like the content you provide is really good. Here's like a bit of something for doing that.
But you have to be verified.
Well, no, I don't know if it will just be all blue tick people, but it's going to be like journalists and other people like journalists who provide kind of people who provide a service, but on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like if you provide a service and you're on Twitter, sort of thing.
It kind of makes sense. I mean, for example, a lot of other people like I'm trying to think of. There's one off the top of my head I can think of. There's a guy called Ariel Helwani, and he does MMA journalism.
Yeah,
and he does a lot of his breaking news through Twitter. So like you say, if he does all his he's one of the big names. If he does it through Twitter, he gets money for it. Makes sense.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Me.
So it'll be people. There will be people out there who'll be like, "Yeah, you're great." I mean, you know.
So technically speaking, if we got quite a following on Twitter, we could start making money for the pod.
Now I'm not sure because I'm not sure if it would be for like because that's like Microsoft could get tipped for being Microsoft on Twitter. It's kind of I think it might be a bit different for a company. I think it might be more geared towards like
has to be a personal account, and then obviously you have to be verified so that you're not just tipping any
almost like
old person.
Transparent enough of who you're tipping,
as
opposed to like you're tipping a faceless corporation.
Like a fraud.
It's basically like Twitch though, because you can tip on Twitch, so it's not really.
I'd say it's probably seen what's going on with Twitch and everything, and it's going. going down that route a little bit.
I go the poor man's tipping on Twitch, and I use my Amazon Prime. You get like one free like $5 subscription thing with Amazon Prime if you go on Twitch. So I'm like, yes, I'm not going to spend my actual money because I'm already spending it on Amazon.
But you can have $5 off an Amazon product from the home department of your choice.
Hells yeah.
The health and beauty section.
Health and beauty section. What's on the fire sales?
Talking about health and beauty, some sexy people came on television onto Disney Plus recently, didn't they, Duncan?
They did.
Did you watch it?
They're all equivalently sexy.
Did you watch it?
Wait, are we talking about Kat Dennings and Dollface, or are we talking about the Bad Batch? Because they're equally as sexy.
I was talking about the Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch. Oh, right, okay, yeah, that's fine.
We could talk about Kat Dennings.
I mean, we're always down for that. But the Bad
not
Batch.
so secret crush. This is free pass. It's been pre-agreed. This is one free pass.
Duncan's new intro for next week's episode.
Card and
Kat Dennings stalker.
Duncan Malcolm
revealed. Bad Batch. No, fantastic.
Have you watched the episode 1?
I have watched episode 1. It's a feature. It's like feature length. It's like an hour and 15 minutes.
Too long.
It's really good. They won't all be that long. It's pretty much Dave Filoni, running with Star Wars exactly as he does. Dave.
Does he play
Filoni?
Because I imagine the Bad Batch is just about the clones. So is Dave Filoni just everyone in this program?
No. So Dave Filoni is the writer who George handpicked. Dave Filoni.
Who's the Kiwi actor then?
No, it's not. It's not what you think it is. So it's not Tamura Morrison. Tamura Morrison is in the Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. He is Boba Fett, but he has also played Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones. And it's a different voice actor for the clones because he has to do multiple different voices because all the clones sound in the Bad Batch anyway sound slightly different.
But they all have to sound kind of Kiwi and everything's like this. And I saw a Jedi over there. There's a Jedi, and I shot him with my gun, and he deflected it with his lightsaber sword, and it was pretty cool.
The new child.
Do they actually sound
Kiwi.
like that?
So the new
that's what Kiwis sound like.
The new child in it, who's called Omega. She sounds really New Zealand, like pure New Zealand, which is funny because obviously Tamura Morrison. But the Bad Batch is basically there were a bunch of defective clones, but the defects were positive rather than negative. So one of them has like enhanced strength. One of them's got really, really smart. One of them has enhanced reflexes.
So is it Star Wars meets the X-Men?
No, it's more like Star Wars meets the Dirty Dozen more than it meets like or like
Meets
Suicide
superheroes.
Squad in a way.
They've brought in superheroes to the Star Wars universe.
They're not superheroes. They just have like they're not like super powered in a way that's like enhanced reflexes. They're just slightly different. So they have because obviously all the clones were like genetically engineered anyway, so they're slightly different.
So they should be the same.
Well, that's it. They
Yeah.
all should be the same, but these guys are slightly different. So therefore, they're actually outcasts in the clone army. The clone army actually like insult them and like call them names, and like there's this whole big like fight scene in the canteen where they're like, but yeah, like they're and then basically the whole series of the Bad Batch is because the clones get disbanded or the Empire don't want to pay for the clones after the Empire's created. They want to hire stormtroopers or do a conscription. So it's all about how this Bad Batch guys managed to escape, and then basically it's about troopers, like army guys in a world who no longer there's no war for them to fight. All they've known is beating the shit out of people, and now there's nothing to do. So
all I've known is war. No, I can't fight in a war. I don't know what to do. So I'll sit here and I'll write my memoirs, and hopefully some big cat producer will make a movie out of my life, and it'll be pretty sweet.
So yeah, pretty much that's pretty much it. So yeah, Dave Filoni obviously is the writer of The Mandalorian, along with Jon Favreau. handpicked by George himself to continue Star Wars.
God, handpicked by God.
Handpicked by God himself. The only
Does
the
have a
only
white
man
beard.
that, Dave Filoni, the guy that actually understands why the prequels are important, just like me and Eddie.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's
Respect.
really good. Anybody listening, Bad Batch, if it's animated, but the animation's so good now that it's
Nice.
phenomenal.
I'll give it a go.
Right.
I wasn't a massive fan of Clone Wars or the other one.
What?
The other one with
Rebels. Rebels is a
Rebels,
bit of an
yeah.
acquired taste. Clone Wars gets really good after once season 2 starts, or like the end of season 1. Once you get
Yeah.
like the bounty hunters and like Cad Bane, it gets really good. And Disney have now actually, there's so much Clone Wars. I think Disney have now done a section on like the Clone Wars library that is like curated episodes, so you can just watch the best episodes.
Nice.
Because like Twilight Apprentice, they actually did motion capture with Ray Park, who plays Darth Maul.
Unfortunate name.
He actually did the fight scene, and they motion captured it and then put that into the show.
Nice. Well, I'll watch it anyway. It looks like something I'll be into.
It's pretty fun.
I'll give it a go and then let you know next week.
I'm saving all this like Clone Wars, Bad Batch, Mandalorian
for the
just
next
saving
lockdown.
them all for like the next lockdown when I touch wood, get furloughed, and
Fuck you.
to sit and watch TV.
I do not want there
It's
to
just
be
never
another
happened.
lockdown.
COVID-20. The
Yes.
sequel no one asked for, but we're all getting.
Yes.
The variant. Now we're back. I'm gonna do this, and you probably won't hear it, but I just want to see if you guys do.
No one's gonna hear it.
No.
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 Can you hear this though?
Inaudible. Yeah. Oh my
That
god.
one's really good.
Eddie, is there a school of dolphins near you?
Is there a dolphin in here? It's a bottlenose dolphin.
Welcome to the main topic of the pod.
Alcohol.
Funny noises that alcohol makes.
Boom. No, well, it's something. Alcohol does make you feel invincible. So,
Hey!
Ooh.
What a great segue. Welcome to the main topic of the podcast, where we are going to review Invincible, the TV show on Amazon Prime about a superhero written by Kirkman.
yep, Robert Kirkman.
Robert Kirkman.
Co-wrote
Who
Invincible
also-
and also co-wrote The Walking Dead.
Co-wrote The Walking Dead. Yes. Shall we deep dive straight into it?
Yeah,
As
just
I-
head first.
As I
Head
show
first.
Gemma this terrible beer that I've poured.
Is that I don't know. I can't see it, but oh dear God,
I know.
you don't want
That
to put
that
that
didn't
on
work.
video, Rory.
That didn't work out so well. It's okay.
How
It'll
could
go
you
down.
admit to that?
It'll go down.
Unforgivable.
Unforgivable.
Anyway, right. So, two of us have seen it. Eddie, you've not seen it? Or have you just YouTubed the battle fights?
I've
Like I
YouTubed
told
a
you
few of the
to.
battle fights, and I was saying to Duncan earlier, I sort of went down a wormhole of watching character videos where some guy was explaining each character. And I've now realized that I probably know a lot in like seasons to come. So
Oh, right. Okay. Nice one.
I'm
So he
gonna
was like-
really try hard not to be like, has something like this happened? No. What?
We've just
Oh no!
spoiled it. That's amazing. So, for those of you that haven't seen Invincible, maybe go and finish it and then come back and listen to the pod. Heavy spoilers ahead, even more so with Eddie's knowledge. And basically,
Deep
what's happened
spoilers.
is we'll talk about what we've got to, and then Eddie will know not to progress past that bit. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense.
So
Yeah.
in the finale, Mark finds out that his dad, Omni-Man, is a
Viltrumite.
Viltrumite, there you go. And instead of Viltrumites being there to protect Earth, they're there to basically make people sign up to their ruling
Yeah,
because they're
much.
insuperior and Viltrumites are pretty much supermen.
pretty much.
And then Mark went, no! And they had a big old fight, and then Omni-Man flew away because he couldn't kill
How
us.
did
Yeah.
the fight end?
Omni-Man
so
flew
Omni-Man
into
flies away.
space.
Mark
okay.
Mark still has the piss beat out of him.
Yeah, he
So,
got the.
Does he get like beat up on the side of the mountain, and then
Oh, yeah.
Omni-Man just?
Yeah.
That's when Omni-Man just.
That's
like,
pretty
buggers
much how
off,
it ends.
yeah.
Apart from Alan the alien Seth Rogen makes a visit. Apart from
Yeah.
that.
cool.
Basically, he's beating the shit out of Mark, and then he has a flashback to a baseball game, and then it's like, "Oh, I do love my son," and then he flies away.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Cool. So that's actually super early in the.
Yeah,
like,
super early
knowing what
compared to
I've
where the
read.
comic. So
And like, yeah, there's a
I'm the same
lot.
as you, Eddie. I've read ahead thanks to Wikipedia, because I was kind of interested as to where this was going to go. Because as I was thinking about what I was going to say about Invincible, I kind of had a little look ahead as to
I'm a
like the
bit like
next
that.
bit.
I get super curious, and you want to
Yeah,
just read up on stuff.
not too
and then
much.
You go like,
I didn't read too
"Oh,
far.
no."
I just wanted to read kind of where it was going because I was curious.
I like to be blindfolded and go in without knowing some absolute.
You like to be
course that's just driven
blindfolded.
past.
You like to be blindfolded and led where you don't know where you're going.
Yeah,
I feel like this is a subject for a different podcast.
I like to be tied down.
Oh.
Oh,
I don't know
that's
what's
different from-
happening.
How many
I like
shades
to-
of grey is that, sir?
51.
Oh, it's by the number of grey hairs on his head. It's probably like 3.
Ooh.
Oh,
Shade.
oh.
I genuinely
Throwing
have about
shade.
5, and it's sad.
That's 5 more than me.
No, right. See, you don't. The way to avoid the grey hairs is to do a me and just lose them.
yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I'm going to have a full head of hair
Bye.
until I die.
Just throw them away. Throw them away.
Yeah. So, going back to Invincible, what did you think of season 1, Duncan?
Invincible for me is the most meh show I have watched this year.
Wow.
Sweet.
Right?
Wow.
I have. There are good things.
Wow.
That's not to say it doesn't have. It has good moments and it has bad moments. It's the whole school side of it. For me,
that can get in the bin.
Can really get in the bin. I understand why you need these things. I understand that, but for me, it wasn't even worth watching. The whole Amber, him, Atom Eve, who's like the girl, the superhero sort of girl. That whole sort of weird love triangle that doesn't really become a thing. Amber, like the main character Mark, is such a dickhead. Like he just is so unlikable for the entirety of like those scenes. Like Kat and I both watched it and we were just like, he's so unlikable and he keeps making the same errors. And every week the Amber girl's like, oh, I forgive you. Oh, I'll give you another shot. And then the next week he's like, he fucks up again. And then she's like, I forgive you. And she's really angry at him. And then just like, fuck it, we'll just sweep it under the rug.
But then eventually
You're like,
she
that's
doesn't.
healthy. No, yeah, but eventually she doesn't. But then she caveats it by he goes, I'm invincible. She goes, yeah, I've known 3 weeks ago. I was like, well, why the fuck are you still doing the same? Why are you still acting like this? Like, pretty sure if you found out someone was a superhero, you'd be pretty excited or pretty angry. Either way, like it.
Like his
she
best
just
mate
decided to keep
was.
it. Yeah, like she just kept it to herself, and then it made me so
Apparently,
cross. Like her
fans-
attitude, the whole thing's made me so angry.
Some fans of the comics have not liked Amber's portrayal in the TV show. They changed how she
doesn't
was
work.
because in the comic book
doesn't
she was
work.
completely different. Apparently,
It doesn't for the show wise. It doesn't work, and this is kind of what led me to go down the route of kind of seeing what was coming next because I've read a whole bunch on my phone about things, right? So the premise of him being in high school and stuff doesn't really work for me. It just doesn't in terms of like the whole.
I mean, it's
I've
an
got a
origin
job at
story,
Burger
isn't it?
Shop and like it's an origin story, but he's just a boring fuck until he like learns he has powers. Like, there's nothing interesting about Mark Grayson until he finds his dad's fucking Superman, and there's nothing interesting about this kid at all.
yeah.
Kind of sounds like he's just done like nothing interesting in his whole life because he knows at some points he's going to get powers and he's just like developed like a void of personality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
devoid of personality. And even when he gets powers,
Sweet.
his powers are just punching people. And he's like,
And he doesn't even seem that invincible. He almost dies
he's not
like
even
5
that
times.
invincible. Yeah, like he gets his ass beat from pillar to post every fucking episode. What else have we got? But moving on, what other things have we written down? Just
I
things
love
like
this. Just Duncan's rants, we'll call this.
just fucking
Ripping
the
raging.
main- like so he's unlikable 99% of the time, right? They kill off one of the coolest characters really early on, who's Damien Darkblood, who's the devil. right?
I
Devil
don't think he's
character,
dead.
the
I reckon he'll
detective.
come
No,
back.
but kill off as in like get rid of him for that series,
Yeah.
right? So they get rid of him, and I'm like, fucking hell, he was kind of interesting. Yeah, but no, fuck him. The reason for Cecil getting rid of him is a bit stupid because Cecil, who I really like, Cecil, big plus point. Cecil, big plus. Cecil, big plus point. Walton.
I like
Goggins.
Cecil.
Basil.
Cecil's cool.
Walton Goggins, our boy from Bear Blanche, doing the job.
Yeah. What a callback.
Walton Goggins, our guy from Bear Blanche, doing the job. Walton Goggins, big fan of Walton Goggins, doing the job. Cecil, he's brilliant.
What's Walter
Cecil getting
Goggins
rid of
doing?
him,
Is he
though.
doing the job? Is he?
Doing the job. Cecil is really good character.
That guy.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's a really good character.
Eddie just looked up Walter Goggins.
He just looked up Walton Goggins / Cecil.
He's a prick in something. What have I watched?
He's in
He's a
Django.
He's in Django, Sons of Anarchy, and Justified. And the Righteous Gemstones as well.
Plays a lot of Southern characters.
Yeah.
Was he
it's
in
good
the
to see him
Sonic
playing
movie?
someone that's not typecast. He's in Ant-Man vs. Wasp.
He might have been in the Sonic movie.
No,
Might
he's
be
not.
in
He's
Sonic
not
movie.
credited. No.
Imagine if
Okay.
he was Knuckles. That'd be funny.
Carry on, Duncan.
So yeah, Cecil I really liked. I like, apart from him getting rid of Darkblood, which doesn't make any sense because Cecil tells him to investigate, and then when Darkblood goes down the wrong path, he's like, nah, fuck you. Like, get rid of
Yeah.
you. So alright, okay. And then he was right all along anyway. I quite the famous names are great, and we've talked about this, some of it will go into
Yeah.
the famous names are great. But you don't really notice a lot of them. There's a few that stand out. Jason Mantzoukas, who I think we have talked about on this.
Yeah,
before. Me and
Jason
Eddie were talking
Mantzoukas
about
is the guy
recently.
from The League, right?
He's the League. He's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's
Raffi.
in
Raffi.
He's Raffi.
So
He's
here's
in,
my issue with Jason Mantzoukas.
DuckTales.
I think he's a very good comic actor, but he has, in my opinion, too much of an obvious voice. So that every
Jay
time he talks, because he's also in Big Mouth, every time he
Jay
talks,
Bilzerian.
it's just like, oh, it's like I'm out of it now. Like I like to be misled. I like to be forced into the story, and then when someone's voice is so recognizable, I'm like, oh, it's just that guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That's exactly it. So I was thinking about this, and I was like, if you look at the voice cast, there's some really talented actors and actresses in that voice cast.
Yeah.
But the problem is that they used it mainly for marketing, whereas they don't actually make that much of a difference. Whereas the ones you notice, Mantzoukas, J.K. Simmons, Zachary Quinto as Robot,
totally.
and Walton Goggins as Cecil are the ones I kind of noticed. But I didn't even notice Mark Hamill, which is great.
Yeah.
But it was
He's great,
pretty
though.
evident when Amazon used a Facebook post and they said, watch Invincible because of all these famous names in it. And you're kind of like, yeah, but you don't notice half of them. Kind of like,
Yeah, but I think that's the good thing, though, is that good acting is you don't notice who's doing it.
yeah, oh no, absolutely. But at the same time, you're kind of like, is that really a reason to watch? If
And
it's
to
a
be honest,
cartoon,
I
it's a
didn't
bit-
know it was Goggins playing Cecil, and I had to look up because I recognized Omni-Man's voice so much, and then I was stoked when I found out it was J.K. Simmons.
That Quinto, those ones. Yeah, there's got like, for example, then like think about like Stephen Yeun as Mark could be anybody.
Yeah, totally.
And
I did
that's not
not.
saying he's
I
not a
had
good
to be
actor,
like,
just
oh,
because of-
he's the guy from Walking Dead.
What we got here? Fights are good.
Fights are brutal.
Fights are brutal.
The fights are
brutal,
amazing.
brilliant.
Yeah.
I love Duncan.
Love
Thank you very
everything
much.
about
God.
fights.
Highlight of the whole season.
Yeah, highlights of the whole season is definitely the fights are great, but it kind of comes back to I would rather the episodes were 30 minutes rather than 50 minutes because you could
Yeah.
probably sack half the school
Yeah.
shit out and watch the fights.
Yeah.
I'd probably have watched it
then-
if it was 30-minute episodes.
There you go. See,
It's just 50 minutes, 45
and that's
minutes is a
kinda-
big commitment.
Obviously, the
Just
twist
to
is a
like,
bit
even
emotional.
though this was a
Let's-
meh season,
enough about me going meh. You can,
Yeah.
I've kind of
Even
go for
though-
yourself.
even though I agree with you that this was kind of a meh season in terms of Mark Grayson, season 1 completely gripped me by the end scene of Omni-Man killing the Justice League. that
Fair
that
enough.
initial
Yeah, that
like
was cool.
holding the dude's
Yeah.
head, and you're like, oh, what's he gonna do? And then he just crushes his skull, and his eye
Disgusting.
pops out.
No need for that. Yeah.
No need for that.
No need for that.
Absolutely no need.
Yeah. Uncalled
then you-
for.
And then just from then on, because it's a why did he do this type story,
Yeah.
I agree with you, Duncan. I didn't care about Mark at all. All I
No.
wanted to know was what's going to happen with Omni-Man Is his wife going to find out? Is the devil going to find out? Is Cecil going to find out? What's going to happen when that happens? And yeah, the Mark stuff kind of like gives him a bit of character of like he's learning how to be a superhero. He's a bit shit right now. He's got some superhero friends now, and
Yeah.
he's kind of set up like what they did at the end when he talked to Seth Rogen's character. They
set
then
it
looked
up.
at everything that probably season 2 and 3 are going to look at, which is everything that has come to fruition from season 1. Like that Stone guy is now like a mob boss, Eddie Ashcroft from That's Class.
What I'll say is, from my perspective of now having like just watched like who the characters are and being introduced to who the characters are in a totally different situation, which kind of like just basically told you exactly who they are and here's what they do. They achieved, from the sounds of it, they achieved absolutely diddly squat in a whole season of TV.
Yeah.
What I was watching, it was like within the first minute of the YouTube video, the guy explained season 1 of Invincible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
Which is
it.
a bit of a surprise to me. I thought it maybe progressed a bit more than that. But
No, it really doesn't. It's already been renewed for seasons 2 and 3. And that's why I kind of read on, because I was like, maybe this does this is just laying the groundwork. It's kind of like a prologue.
Yeah,
I think it will.
Sense.
Yeah,
I think it will.
It looks like the actual comics, if what I've read from the comics comes to pass, that actually sounds quite interesting. It sounds quite good. But this first season, I was just like, oh my God, it was such a slog to get through. I was just like, oh my
I actually
God.
think it was the one. This is probably quite a bad thing now that I think about it. The fact that it was weekly was good for me because I couldn't binge it. Like it'd be like watch one season and be like, cool, it's only 40 minutes. I'll just bash this out and then get on with my day. If it was here's an 8 episode season for you to just binge. I probably I did binge the first 3 because they were the premiere, and those first 3 episodes were actually pretty good at gripping you in and trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. But if it was a full season of to binge, I don't think I could have done it. I was quite glad it was weekly.
I've been too scared to. That's how I would have been watching it now, I think, and I was a bit reluctant to. More just episode length.
Yeah,
episode length.
50-minute episodes is just mad. Yeah.
If you want to see an episodic format of a TV show with a kid that goes to high school and kind of is a superhero, go watch The Amazing Spider-Man on Disney Plus, which was a 90s cartoon that we probably all watched a bit of at some point. It was on BBC One or ITV. It is just as good, if not better, than the first season of Invincible. In terms of storyline and
rightly or wrongly, a little bit for me is sort of animated stuff that I've enjoyed, and I don't know, rightly or wrongly, TV stuff, animated TV stuff has always been good when it's been 20 minutes, 30-minute episodes, because you can turn it on, dip in, watch a few. You could watch 10 in a night, and it's But I just feel 50 minutes is getting on a bit for something that's not. I don't want to. I don't believe in this. I don't believe especially with how animation is now compared to TV now. It's they're on par.
Better.
They are
on par.
But there is a bit of me. I don't know. Maybe it is a bit of unconscious bias that's animated stuff shouldn't be that long. Yeah, it's a cartoon. It shouldn't be that long.
Yeah, and genuinely, in terms of how long was Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
That was between 40 and 50 minutes.
So that
dependent.
For me was a struggle to wait every week because I was loving it, and then compare it to this where I was I could wait another week to watch it. It's not because of the writing. I just because it's the pacing.
It's the pacing of the story where, like I said, there's so much all of it builds up. So subconsciously, you're thinking Amber, Christ, you're thinking Christ, I can't be doing with another episode about this. You're thinking along the lines of, oh, what's going to be this week? The whole Mars episode, whilst they set it up, felt like a complete waste of fucking time.
Yeah,
really.
That was a filler.
Yeah, and that's when you've got an 8-episode season, you can't afford to have filler. And they, like Eddie said, you've comprised of where they could have got to and where they did get to. They could have gone way further, and they could have cut. I mean, we talked about this in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, kid, where it was use your time wisely, and don't fill it with stuff that actually we don't really need.
Yeah,
it might be better down the line. Like I said, that's not to say next season might be way better and they can speed it up. But it's not so much. It's just it felt like a pacing issue where, like you said, you're like, fucking hell. The best bits happened at like the kind of 10-minute mark and the 50-minute mark.
Yeah,
or where the best
they gripped you into the episode, and then they kind of coasted, and then they went, "Oh, here's a cliffhanger for the next episode." Yeah, I agree.
The 25-minute mark, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
What am I having? What are we doing? What are we doing tomorrow?
Yeah, the amount of times I actually consciously grabbed my phone. Which isn't a good sign. It's never a good sign when you grab your phone.
You're watching something and you're just like having a look. Yeah,
I'd rather see what else is going on.
The epitome of background TV.
But in terms of the fact that it was a bit of a slog in the writing and Mark's not a great character, what were your favorite parts of the season?
Favorite parts? I loved Alan the alien. I thought he was good.
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, Alan the alien. You're like, all right, okay, this is fun. The bits where it didn't take itself too seriously, the fights were brilliant. I'd like to quickly point out though about the fights, right? So Cecil unlaunches a nuke, basically was equivalent of like a nuke on Omni-Man, right?
Class.
In the last episode. His suit takes like little to no damage. Yet when it was punched to shit in the first episode, it got torn up. He literally got nuked. Literally got nuked. And it's
upgrades.
Like, but it's upgrades, but it doesn't really explain it because then like Mark gets a new suit and he kind of gets battered and it gets torn and all that shit. And Omni-Man's standing there and you're like, yeah, but you got nuked. Like you literally got like that was a beautiful shot, by the way. There were some beautiful shots, like the shot where he does get hit with the ion cannon, it goes all black and white.
Yeah.
Like that's very sort of class. That was pretty cool, pretty classy.
It was very anime at times, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, I think that was cool. The fights were good. I like the fact there's kind of a twist on it.
Yeah.
The favorite bit, I like the fight with the lion. Like
that was a good fight.
The teen team and
but they all almost died.
Head guys. Yeah, and they almost died, and they kind of got their asses kicked. That was a good twist. But they didn't win.
Yeah,
which was nice.
That was a good episode. I enjoyed that episode actually. That was an episode that I felt didn't really coast that much because it had a new character that was like needing help.
Yeah, and he was more interesting than Mark.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
which is kind of.
That's very true.
What else did you think? What ones did you find good?
I mean, I enjoyed the fights. The fights were a big standout, obviously, and I think that's where most people will start to like recommend the TV show. Be like, oh, it's a bit like this, but man, the fight scenes, you need to go in for that. And that's exactly what we said to Eddie. It was like, just watch the fight scenes.
Watch the fight scenes.
But one of the things I really, really loved is obviously there's a budget and it's a cartoon, but some of the images of Invincible flying is just a JPEG. Like across some like sky, or like it's like zooming in as a JPEG. It's so funny, and yeah, it kind of takes you out of the show a little bit. But I laughed. I think it's really, really
stuff
good.
Like that could be quite fun though. Kind of like brings it back down to like it's not. Yeah.
Oh man. And Duncan
What's
Scott.
It's a JPEG.
I'll try spinning.
It's a JPEG going across the screen. But I also really liked just character development of Cecil and. Not so much Mark, but like the other like I want to see the other characters a little bit more.
Ironically, if you killed off Mark, it might be a more interesting show.
Yeah, it'd be called Guardians of the Globe.
As it is, that was the thing about the whole Guardians thing. I was kind of I'm not really sure, and like Robot wants to go from being a robot to becoming a little boy, like Pinocchio,
because he likes the little girl.
Because he likes the girl that's actually 30 or whatever, but is going backwards in time because of becoming a monster.
Yeah,
and then he then basically becomes Iron Man because he keeps going inside the suit.
Yeah, he goes inside the suit. Yeah,
right. Okay, so you're basically Iron Man. It was kind of like that was a weird side plot. Once again, good side plot. I just think some of it was really badly executed along the way. You're kind of right, that's why he's got the twins out. I quite like the twins. They were fun.
Who?
The twins, the Mauler twins. The blue
guys. Right. Yeah, I thought you were still talking about some lady
Lady, no.
Lady twins.
The twins.
Fun.
They were called the Mauler twins, the blue guys at the start of the very first episode.
Yeah.
They
They're
were kinda
good,
interesting.
actually. They're a good. I'm actually intrigued to see if they'll come back because I thought they had quite a good story.
I like the premise that as soon as one of them wakes up, he's like, you're
I'm
the
the
clone.
twin.
I was like,
Yeah.
fuck off. You're the clone.
And they
I
had
was like,
such
I quite like
a
that.
they had such a blasé entrance. Like
Yeah.
they were the first scene in episode 1, and you just thought, all right, cool, they're a bad guy and they'll go to jail. But they had such a huge part of the season, which I quite liked.
Yeah. That was cool.
And
Yeah,
I really
I liked
liked
it. I
the
liked
last episode was just insane because it was that cat and mouse chase of where's Omni-Man, where's Mark? We all need to find Mark before he does. And probably the best episode of the season in my
I feel
opinion.
like Cecil could have done a bit more to catch Mark. I think that's part of the problem as well. He's got instant teleportation, and it's kind of like really,
you
couldn't have just
grab him.
grabbed him and grabbed him out of midair, and then kind of if he teleported just enough in front of him, Mark would have gone, "Fuck, that's Cecil. I should go catch him." Catch him, and Cecil just teleports away. You're like, boom, job done.
But then also I feel like Cecil needed them to have a fight so that he could let everyone hear who Omni-Man really was. I think he had
true.
a plan
Cecil,
to be like, we need to show everyone who this guy really is.
Cecil definitely has his more. It's kind of he's one of the more interesting characters. So I think if you did a ranking, like we've said, we like Walton Goggins as Cecil, and we like Cecil because Cecil has these motivations, and as soon as someone kind of does both sides of the coin is a little bit of a morally grey character, you're like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And he's and the whole bit with like, oh, look, check it out, this is the white room, and he clicks a button, and it's like a weapons factory. He's like, all right, cool. He's kind of like he's Nick Fury, but
yeah, he's Nick Fury.
He's Nick Fury of the show, but he's it's cool.
But he's
like
a good new addition.
He makes sense.
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty good. I'm excited for season 2.
I'm excited for season 2. Obviously, I'm excited for season 2. I've kind of read a little bit of kind of where it's going. Eddie's sitting there going, season 2 might be good. Depends how far they go.
Depends how far they go. If they don't go
this
far
is the
enough,
thing.
then...
So
Here's
if they've only gone what did you say, Eddie? They've only gone to like.
I don't think they've gone very far at all. If Mark's now aware, they're all aware of Omni-Man. They're all aware of what he did at the beginning to the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
Globe. Guardians of the Globe. Guardians of the Galaxy.
I've not spoiled anything. Don't worry. I just forgot my G's. If that's him now just aware, and if that's Omni-Man now pissed off, I know where he's gone. Season 2 could be quite fun if he's gone where he's gone. Season 2 could actually be really quite weird and cool.
That's right.
It just then depends how much further they go, and if it's renewed for another third, how does it go after that? It could just be a 3-season thing, but I think there'll be something they'll want to keep going on.
Yeah,
I think you get.
No, I think
6
it's
out of
got a lot more to come, and I think from what you're saying, if they can, I think there's plenty of room now for them to sort of shove on from the school stuff. Maybe that was just required to get to this, as pretty much as like poor filler to get to the point that they wanted to get to. If this is the point they wanted to get to at the end of season 1, they were like, we have to do 8 50-minute episodes. Maybe they actually did need that to get to this point in the end of season 1.
You're absolutely right, Eddie. You're
season 2,
fill time.
I think there's going to be enough in season 2 that they maybe don't have to do it. And I learned all this from a 50-minute YouTube.
Maybe I'll watch that YouTube video.
That sounds good, yeah.
I'll link it.
Sounds
I know you'll spoil stuff. I think you'll spoil too much.
I don't know if I want
do
to
it
spoil
yourself.
too much.
No,
I think that's
bit
right.
annoyed
Though.
I've spoiled it for myself.
It's just it has these great the classic killer no filler. It literally has these killer moments that are really good and kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like the whole let's quickly talk about pushing his son through a train. Which is
head
so
first.
yeah, I
Just-
saw that. What actually came of that? That's weird.
Nothing's going to happen to Mark. See, this is the other thing. Mark has zero repercussions for whatever happens. So Mark and Omni-Man stand in front of a train, literally eviscerate a whole train full of people.
Yeah.
Bunch of people die.
Just going on their way to work. Bunch of people died, Mark. Bunch of people died. And nothing's going to come of that.
What comes of Mark? Is he like
He gets his he hits his head off.
Basically, just gets like
Omni-Man's holding
gets
him in
cut
front
a
of
little
him.
bit?
Well, he's obviously hurt, and then Omni-Man like absolutely throws him by holding his neck, like throws him away,
Yeah.
and then he like flies through like the whole city, and
Oh,
like
I saw that. So this is the final fight. That happened at the start of the final
ends
fight.
up in the
I
ends
saw
up in
that.
the ground, and then tries to save people from a falling building.
Yeah.
And he's basically Omni-Man making a point of like, look how fragile these lives are compared to us.
That's
Yeah.
basically it. Yeah.
So he's like, look at you, son. You are pretty much invincible because I'll do this
Yeah.
to you. All these people will die and you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Whereas
mean,
he's maybe
life
struggling
lessons.
with the more human aspects of trying to save everyone, trying to be
There are
like a cliche
definitely
superhero.
human aspects, like you say, about saving everyone and wanting all that. He just doesn't. He just doesn't. It doesn't show it well enough, and it tells a lot. It doesn't show well, and then, like you say, there's moments where it has these killer moments of morality and grey and learning, and they're the moments I liked. But there's not enough of them.
It's like what we said last week, show don't tell.
Show don't tell. Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
I like this audio podcast where we have to tell and not show.
Yeah, we have to just talk to you. Shall we do a last class ranking of, is it hot garbage? Is it fine? Or is it class?
It's fine. This first
Sounds
season,
fine
it's
to me.
fine. It's meh. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It has these absolutely brilliant moments. If you like anime and you like superheroes, it's probably worth watching to kind of, I think, if Eddie's right, and from what I've kind of seen myself, it pushes on a bit. I think it'll be good fun.
I agree. I also think it's just fine, but it's fine enough for me to want to come back for more.
I'll watch the premiere
guess.
of season 2.
Yeah, I want to see where they go with it, and then if it keeps me pulled in, then I'll stick around.
May as well.
But if it's very similar to the fact that I keep reaching over to my phone every so often, I might just be like, ugh, I'll just give up and keep
Might
watching
just buy
the
the
Mighty
books.
Ducks.
Might just buy the Mighty Ducks. Might just buy the books. Might just read the books. Probably the books are
Actually,
fucking
because
amazing.
people rave about the comics.
Yeah.
And
Andrew might have
apparently
them actually.
The TV
He
show
might. He has
is
all the
like,
Walking Deads.
text Andrew. Is he on shore?
Yeah.
Raid his flat now.
Oh wait, he's in Edinburgh, wouldn't he? He lives in Edinburgh. now.
Yeah.
I'll
Eddie,
photocopy
are you
him.
going to give season 2 a go? If the episodes are maybe 30 minutes rather than an hour?
Yeah, I'd like to give it a go. Yeah, I'll try and give it a go. There's no point in me watching season 1 now. I'm not one for going and watching
Yeah,
stuff.
no.
Nah, but yeah. I'll try and give season 2 a go when it comes out.
Nice one.
Got a reason to watch it.
A reason.
Absolutely.
Well, that'll do it, boys,
Right.
shall it?
That's fun. Yeah.
Nice one.
Let's wrap this
I'll
up.
Wrap this up. If you want to contribute to any of the topics that we have here on That's Class, you can catch us on all the socials just by searching for That's Class Pod. You can also write to us at Gmail at thatsclasspod@gmail.com. Let us know what you find class, and we will probably put it in a future episode. You can also catch our faces on YouTube the following Wednesday if you want to listen to all of this again, but in visual form, and then regret seeing our faces. And actually, disclaimer, I forgot to press record on the Zoom chat for half of this, so it's going to be half of the main thing is just, so sorry, Gemma, but if you listen to this as a pod, that's why we do this as a podcast and not visually. It's just the second thing. But anyway,
Technical difficulties.
if you enjoyed this episode, leave us a like, leave us a review, comment down below if you're watching on
Eddie's
YouTube.
stroking.
Eddie's-
Is he stroking?
I'm trying to make up for
What's
it.
he doing?
With a bonus cat.
Oh,
There's a cat in there.
in
See
the
the
corner.
white bits? That's a cat. There's a
That's what
bonus
he's doing.
cat.
Yeah, and I hope everyone has a super, super day. Say goodbye, Duncan.
Super day, super week. Goodbye, Duncan.
And as Eddie says at the end of every episode of That's Class,
Bye, everybody. Have a fun week.
that's what
I
you
love
say at
you.
the end of
Wasn't
every
what I was
episode.
expecting.